What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Combat and Canvas YouTube channel. I'm Brady. With me, as always, Max. We are here today, post UFC 301, to give you some matchmaking for the winners. We did this last time after 300, and now we're doing it again after 301. We take the winners from the main card of the pay-per-view and kind of fantasy book, I guess you could say, of
Yes,
who
sir.
we think they should fight next. So we'll get started here. We'll start at the bottom of the card first. So Caio Borralho defeated Paul Craig, and yeah, he won. So
Yeah,
what's
he looked
next for
great.
Paul? I'll let you go first for this one because I think we might have a different one here. So you can go first.
For this one, I'm going with someone who needs a win. I mean, he's coming off two losses. First to Marvin Vittori, second to Nassourdine Imavov. But he's still ranked number 11 in the world, and I'm talking Roman Dolidze. He did have a fight
Okay.
scheduled with Fluffy, but that one actually
Yeah,
ended up getting canceled. So now I'm going in Kyle, and I think that that's a super fun matchup. And I think Kyle can get thrown in there pretty soon after that performance. I mean, he pretty much took no damage, so I think he can get a quick turnaround. I mean, a little bit of recovery after the training camp, but I mean, what a flawless performance, man. He looked absolutely incredible in there. So I think he just needs to keep moving up. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to really want to fight him after that type of performance. That's why I'm saying
no,
Roman, because he's going to need a win, and he's probably willing to get anyone in the rankings at this point. And I think that that'd be a really fun matchup. And yeah, so I'm going Roman Dolidze versus Kyle Berhalio.
I like that. I actually went with the guy who lost to Roman, but he is coming off of a win, and that is number 10 Jack Hermanson.
I
Um,
like that.
Kyle versus Jack. So Jack had a main event against Joe Pyfer, and
Yeah, he looked
it was
good.
yeah, it was like during that fight, Jack was coming off that loss to Roman, and then it was like a fight for Pyfer to be like, okay, are you really like the next up? Are you all this hype?
Yeah,
Is
he was
it
breaking
true?
punch records.
And then Jack just shut him down. I mean, he dominated that fight.
Yeah,
Um, and then obviously Kaya, who's number 14, is dominating everybody that he's been in the cage with so far. So I think for him, number 14, to go against Jack at 10 and really push Kyle up into the top 10, because at this point, if he keeps doing this, we're going to see this guy fight for the belt sooner rather than later. So
yeah,
you might as well boost him up to the top 10. I do like 11 with the lead say, but number 10 with Jack, put him in the 10 slot, and then he can keep fighting down. Either one's good because, like you
yeah,
said, Roman's 11, Jack's 10, so either or boost him right up into that
a hundred
top 10
percent.
echelon.
Yeah, I mean, I almost went Jack myself, but I was like, man, feeding Jack another killer after he just went off, like fighting
Yeah.
down against another killer. I'm like, I feel bad doing him like that. So I don't know who he should fight, but yeah, I wanted to give Jack someone a little higher ranked if I was hypothetically matchmaking it. But I do like the pick. I feel like that's a super fun fight, and I feel like they match up really well together. Where I feel like they kind of cancel each other out. I feel like it's super even.
Yeah, I think overall for Kyle, he has to fight up. He has to fight someone that's either nearing or in the top 10 because this guy, first of all, deserves it. Second of all, he
Yeah,
looks so good. You
yeah,
have to
he's
give
the
him
real
more of a
deal, man.
challenge.
He made
Yeah.
that look easy, man.
And then we go to another guy who's been making shit look easy. How about
Yeah,
Marcel Pereira? Man, I what this guy just comes in here, Iho Portiera, and just finishes him in what was it, like 45 seconds or something?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and that was like the same as his last fight. Like this
yeah,
guy's just coming in here and destroying everybody. But the issue is with Pereira is he's been dominating everyone. He's also unranked.
yeah.
So he has to fight someone who's ranked. And I'll go first on this one
Yeah, I
because
think after his last fight, I think he just now entered the rankings. I think he's like number 13 now. So he's finally in the rankings.
okay, interesting because I wrote this before that came out. So this might screw me up a little bit, but
But
I
hey,
think
I
because
went kind of crazy with mine.
now I don't know the rankings because I for those who are watching, I made this right after 301.
Yeah, I think the rankings came out today. So
Okay,
I
so
updated mine slightly.
you might have to help me with this one then because I said, and it's funny that he's at number 13 because I said Michel Pereira should go against Paul Craig, who at the time was
Oh,
13 when I made
okay.
it. because
I
Paul
like
Craig
that.
is coming off the loss to
Yeah,
Kaio, and I thought, hey, he's coming off a loss. He should probably fight at this time. I don't know what he is now, but he was 13. He should be fighting someone back since
dude.
he keeps losing. So
Yeah, very true.
fight Pereira, who should be getting in there. Okay, so we put a guy who just lost against an
Yeah,
unranked guy who definitely deserves to be in the top 10 or top 15. But now I don't know what Paul Craig's at. Is he
yeah.
even ranked anymore?
I don't see him. I think he's gone.
Oh no. Okay. So that screws mine up. So I'd like to hear what you have to say. Who
Dude,
who,
I
who would
went
you
a
have
little
Pereira?
bit in the opposite direction here. I'm going with somebody. We're really testing him. Although we're going up against someone not quite top 5, but number 6 right now in Brandon Allen coming off a big win. I want to
Okay.
see
Yeah.
Michelle in there against someone, a top contender already, where
Brendan,
Brandon
who
is
beat
coming
Paul
off
Craig.
of yeah, and he's coming off of a kind of controversial split decision rematch win over Chris Curtis, where he kind of got rocked in there, but he was able to get the win. So I feel like he doesn't really deserve to fight up after that performance. Where I don't think he deserves. Brandon Allen deserves a top five guy. So man, throw him in there with the prospect, Michelle Pereira. I mean, man, he's just been destroying everyone he's in there with, especially since he's moved up to 185 from 170. So I really want to see this matchup because I feel like Michelle could get it done in spectacular fashion, and I think they have a potential star with just how fun he is and the type of fights he puts on time and time again. I think that he has a star-making potential, and I think that
Yeah.
throwing him in there against someone that highly ranked, but in a fight that he could, potentially even be the favorite in, I think could be big for the UFC and smart business. So I'm going with number 6, Brandon Allen. Big jump. Let's see if he can handle it.
I like that. I also like the fact that we put him in there against two guys who are grapplers just like him, but kind of like I don't want to say bigger because Michel Pereira is a pretty big guy, but
Yeah.
when we saw how Brendan and Paul did on the ground, and Brendan beat him when people thought he wouldn't,
Yeah.
especially on the ground. So and Michel Pereira's been basically beating almost everyone on the ground too. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see how that goes, but like in crazy fashion because he's knocking guys down and then back flipping on him
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
choking him out.
I'm
It's
interested to
insane.
see. Yeah. I'm like, can the chin of Allen hold up from that sort of explosion?
Yeah.
And can Michelle deal with the grappling from Brendan, where Michelle normally is just honestly running through guys, but I don't think he'll be able to do that with Brendan.
Yeah, I like that matchup. Definitely now that I know Paul Craig is not in the rankings anymore. Fuck it. Throw Michel Pereira up there. Put him up there at
Hey,
number
I
six.
like it.
Let's
I
see.
like it. I mean, right,
Um,
man? Am I wrong? He could be a big star if he gets a win
oh,
like
100%. I mean, you see the guy, not this fight, but the last one, he was coming out doing the dancing and
that.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. And then the fans are cheering. He's going in
Doing
there. He's
backflips.
back flipping. He's
I don't know how
doing,
that's legal, low key, but hey, he gets it done.
it's not really, but he does it. But even though, like, he comes into the cage, he's running and jumping off the cage. He's high fiving the opposite corners,
Yeah.
coaches and stuff, and he's dancing and just doing all this stuff, and people are cheering. And then it's not like all show either, because then the fight starts, and then he's winning like
Yeah.
immediately. So it's like the whole package of Michel Pereira feels like star, but it also feels like what's weird. I was looking at his record and stuff, and I was like, man, why do I feel like he's been in the UFC way longer than he actually has?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this guy's a legend, but
Yeah.
he's, like, not even ranked, and he's not even had as many fights as I thought he did. I was like, man, this guy definitely should be like definitely in the top 15, if not top 10 already. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know. He's on how much of a win streak now? Like something ridiculous. Let me
I
see.
think it's like 8.
Yeah. Eight fight winning streak, and he's only 30
Yeah,
years old. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a hairline where I feel like people think he's older than he is, but
exactly. Me
for
too. That's
real,
what I
yeah.
thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean the man bun pulling that back, I mean, probably not doing him any favors, but yeah, I think yeah, he has all the everything he needs to be a
But
star. I just am
it
surprised he hasn't had a bigger fight yet.
yeah, it also goes to show how weird the UFC matchmaking is because you see some guys, like I just mentioned, Joe Pyfer, getting
Yeah.
pushed right up into that spot against Jack Hermanson, who's number 10, and he was unranked, and he's like, here's a main event for you, Joe. And we know Joe Piper been in for like what, a year? And
Yeah.
then you have Michelle Pineda, who's on an 8-fight now, at the time, 7-fight win streak before this last one. And he's still fighting unranked guys. Why? He's so
Yeah.
exciting. He's finishing people
100%.
with, he's not boring at all. You would think the UFC would be like, especially Dana. We know how he talks about liking exciting fighters. Well, who's more exciting? No one. He's
Yeah.
like, this guy should definitely have gotten a fight. I don't understand, but yeah, now it is the time. So whoever it is, I like your pick, number 6. Just throw him to the wolves. If not, 100% has to be a ranked opponent. It just has to.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so with that being said, we move on to, man, the upset of the weekend.
Yeah, I did not
Anthony
see this coming,
Smith
man.
Anthony Smith finished Vitor Petrino in round 1 by submission. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, man.
And
Easy work for him.
I, I might have went way off the wall with this one. And there's a reason, though, and I'll explain. So
Let's see it.
Anthony
Let's see it.
Smith has been calling out the champ, Alex Pereira. He says he can beat the guy, okay?
Oh, I like where this is going.
I'm not picking Pereira yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm going to let him prove himself because there's another guy by the name of Ankalaev who should be fighting
Ah,
the champion, and it seems like that's not going to happen because he wants to only fight Alex in Abu Dhabi or whatever, and he's like, I'm only fighting him if it's here or whatever. I don't know what's up with that. But if you're
yeah,
not going to
me
fight the
neither.
champion, and Alex seemingly going to fight Yuri or maybe Khalil or Jamal again in a rematch, who knows? If you're not
Mhm.
going to fight Ankalaev, okay, Anthony Smith, you want to prove yourself? You beat Ankalaev, who's at this point number 2. You're automatically in there for a title shot, and you would be next against Alex. So if
Yeah,
he wants to prove himself, he's number 10. Fight at number 2, be the contender, and there you go. You can have Alex. But I do not think, excuse me, that Smith should get a title shot right off of beating Vitor. I don't think that at all.
yeah,
So he has to fight someone up, and yeah, Ankalaev's not going to fight anyone else. So, and Anthony would 100% go over to Abu Dhabi. So there you
yeah,
go. And he
yeah. I
took no
mean,
damage in this one. It was
yeah,
fast.
that's a not a bad pick at all. I think we're both in similar mindsets there, where we're going for a top guy in the division. I'm just not going on Kalive in this case. I'm going with a former champion, also looking to get back into that title conversation. Jan Blachowicz versus Anthony Smith.
Okay, I like that
One of the
too.
few
I
matchups
like
that
that too.
hasn't happened with Anthony Smith. He's fought so many guys. These are two veterans that still have not clashed heads yet, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before they do. And I think now is the perfect time where, like I said, both of them are looking to challenge for that belt once again. It's been a little bit for Smith, but Jan still he just fought for that vacant one against Ankalaev, had that draw not too long ago, and then he fought Pereira and lost for the another vacant belt. That division was a
Yeah,
little crazy for a while, but yeah. So I think that Jan versus Anthony right now is a perfect time to make it, where Jan is coming off that loss, looking to get back in the win column, and Anthony Smith looking to make a statement. I mean, he keeps. You never know with this guy. Like he says it himself, he's one of the most inconsistent fighters in the UFC. Where when he's on, he seems to be one of the top guys in the division, but then sometimes we see him underperform for sure. But I think that's just
yeah,
a product of being in that top 10 conversation for so long now. So man, respect to Anthony Smith, man. Right when I think he's done, he keeps coming back, man. It's crazy.
100%. Like, I can't doubt Anthony Smith anymore, and that's why I put him up against someone like Ankalaev, who is number 2 in the division. Because I'll be fully honest, I writ him off 100%. I was like,
Yeah.
Perita's going to run through him, and then he's either going to retire or just keep falling back. I literally said there's a chance that he retires out of this fight. Well, I was dead wrong because he
Yeah.
went out there and won like that, and I don't think anyone expected that. So maybe he sees something that no one else does, and maybe he can beat Pineda. I don't know, but at this point, you're gonna have to prove it at least one more time. I like the Jan fight too because, like you said, that top really 5, 6 is all killers and could all be next to the title, especially with how the division keeps being, I don't know, weird with the faking titles, and then all these guys are getting shots and then dropping, and then they're fighting each other, and it's all weird. We need someone fresh in there. I thought it was going to be Ankalaev, probably not. So yeah, I think Anthony Smith could get his name in there if he really wanted to, and either or Ankalaev or Jan could be great for him. So we'll see. Props to Anthony Smith though. And
Yeah.
then we have a guy who's an absolute legend, a Hall of Famer. He got it done this week.
Crazy,
Jose
man.
Aldo.
What a
And he
performance, bro. You
says
called it.
that he's gonna fight again, or he at least wants to fight again. So we're going on the assumption that he's gonna be fighting again with this one. So yeah, Jose Aldo looked incredible this weekend. Um, dare I say he looked like prime Aldo. I mean, the way he was moving, I really think so for those who don't know, because it wasn't like made a huge deal, but when he left the UFC, he went and boxed. So he was still training, and I thought that worked a lot because his hand speed and his just the speed of his movement, his feet and his head movement, man, when he almost got hit with the back elbow and ducked it. I was like, oh my God, like this guy's on fire right now. And
Yeah,
he was
the
piecing him
reactions,
up.
man.
The
Crazy.
reaction time did not leave Aldo. It was crazy. And a lot of the times when the guys are getting older, the reaction time might be one of the first things to go. You know, they always say the
Yeah,
power might be the last. Well, the first is usually that reaction time. But not
100%.
for Aldo. I don't know. I don't know what he's eating, but it ain't for him because he's looking
Yeah,
like a beast.
for
So,
real,
with that
man.
being said, currently he's unranked because he was gone. I don't know if he's ranked now. Maybe you can tell me with this
Right
update
now,
because
yes,
I'm
yes. Now he's ranked number 8.
8. Oh
Yeah,
my
they
God.
number 8. Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to be a little higher, honestly, but number 8.
Okay. Well, this kind of iffy's my thing here
Let's hear it.
because
Let's hear it.
I had him unranked, and he did say on the post fight that he wanted to fight to possibly get up to a championship again.
100%.
So, with that being said, there's also some people that want to see him against, legends and maybe go that route and just fight the legend route. Okay. Well, how about we knock both off the list? And at the point where I made this list, he was fighting number 11, who's also a legend. And these two should have fought years ago.
Ooh,
Dominic Cruz.
I
Jose
like this,
Aldo
man.
versus Dominic Cruz. Um, yeah, I expected if Aldo was going to get ranked, it was not going to be 8 for sure because Cruz was 11. I don't know if he moved up now.
I think
Oh,
he's technically went down 10 since Aldo jumped him. So now he's at 12.
okay. Well, the fight still could happen because 8 and 12 aren't that far away. And
Not at all.
Aldo would be going into now his second fight in his return. So, and this is a fight that people want. They've wanted it for years. It just never happened. I think that these two should have definitely fought years ago when they're in their prime. But like I said, Aldo still looks great. So let's just have it now. Aldo Cruz, top 10-ish. Cruz is 12, but you know what I mean. Fight in there, and then either win can because Cruz is talking about he wants to go up into that top 10 and try and fight for the title too. So have these two legends go at it, and the winner obviously moves up and can fight contenders. But I definitely want to see Aldo and Cruz fight, regardless of any ranking. But they are both ranked, so that helps even more. What do you got?
Man, I'm going for a little bit more of a high risk for Aldo. But I think this is a fight that would get him highly motivated and one that would definitely put him in position for a title shot if he were to win it. I'm going with number 3, Peter Yan, someone who's already defeated Jose Aldo back in 2020.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good against Jose. But I want to see if Jose can get one back. I mean, he looked phenomenal in that fight, and that's why I'm pushing him already. I'm like, man, it would be fun. I would like the Dominic Cruz fight too, where I feel like that is also a fight that would motivate him just to, prove himself over a legend like that.
And
But
Jan needs motivation too. I
yeah,
mean, he's coming off a win, but he's also been knocked down a few
yeah,
pegs from the last couple fights. So
100%. So I feel like for both these guys, they have a lot to prove in this fight. Where Jan wants to show that he has not regressed and not and not unable to defeat a man he was able to beat 4 years ago. And Aldo wants to show that, hey man, I still got it, and I'm just as good, if not better, than I was back then. Because man, he looked amazing. He made that fight look easy against Martinez, man.
Yeah.
So I think that I almost wanted to just say straight up he should fight the winner of Merab and Sean O'Malley, just because I'm like, man, I don't know how
Yeah,
much
why
longer
not?
he's gonna be around, right? But he's such a legend, man. So yeah, I'm going Peter
Yeah,
Yan, and I think that would for sure be a number one contenders fight.
has to be. Like, the streak that Martinez was on, how good he was looking,
Yeah,
and then
he was making it look easy.
to get absolutely outstruck, out wrestled, out everything by
Yep.
Aldo was crazy. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Aldo just looked incredible. Like, um, he hurt him in that last round, and Aldo just like took him down just to do it. Like, he was just like dumped
Yep.
him. I was like, man,
Yeah.
he's just playing with him at
He was
this point.
bullying
Like,
him
good
at that point.
Aldo, crazy. But either or, I could definitely see UFC being like, okay, you're a former champion. You look that good already. Former legend, Hall of Famer. Why not just throw him up in there? I could see them definitely doing that. So, I wouldn't mind the Yon fight, and that would be. I mean, those two would just box back and forth. That'd be fun.
Yeah. a hundred
So,
percent, man. I like both of my picks, honestly, for pretty much all these, man. I feel like we're doing pretty solid so far.
and then we move on to the main event that I think we have the same exact one for. I mean,
I feel
it's
like
almost
there's
a
not
given.
much options. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one because I'm pretty sure it's the same one. So, who do you
I
got?
mean, pretty much the only guy in the top five that Pantoja hasn't beat already, and that's number three, Amir Albazi. I mean, he's on a 6-fight winning streak. He's
Yeah,
17-1, undefeated in the UFC. And yeah, like I said, Pantoja's pretty much beat everybody else in that division.
yeah,
Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, um, Perez looking good now again, and Pantoja's already beat him. So man, Pantoja is slowly starting to really lap this division, and if he gets another one under his belt here, it would just be crazy. I mean, I know that some people thought Ursay got it done in 301. I thought the champion did just enough, just enough. I mean, I think it's bad if the corner and the fighter himself thinks he lost the fight, but that's just
yeah,
me. But yeah, I think that if he wins this one, then they'll probably do a rematch, depending on if Ursag bounces back as well. Because I almost wanted to say run it back immediately, but just because it was such a fun fight. But I do think Amir is long overdue for his title shot, and I'm guessing you're agreeing with me.
yeah. 100%. That's exactly what I picked. Amir Albazi. I mean, this guy, like you said, undefeated in the UFC. He only has one loss ever in his whole career. Um, and yeah, every single point you made was exactly why. Pantoja has beat everyone else except him because they never fought yet. So like, it has to be him. The issue here, though, is with Albazi. I feel like he's. How do I say this without being mean? I feel like he's not putting his name out there.
Yeah,
I feel like he's getting overlooked because he's not saying like it's not like he's pushing for a title shot. He's not making I don't know if he's not making the most of it on the mic, on social media, whatever it is. I feel like his name is rarely brought up, even though he is number three, and he definitely 100% should be next, especially now. Like in my opinion, if we're being fully honest, he should have got it over Ursig
yeah,
because
yeah. I mean, you're
like
not wrong.
Ursig was like 10, so
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
But
I think if anything, it might just be like activity thing where he hasn't fought since July of 2023. So I feel like after that Kai win, he was kind of like, I want the title shot now type thing. And
yeah,
obviously he didn't get it. So, but I think maybe that patience may have paid off. Where I mean, Pantoja keeps beating everyone, so he's still there, and you're still the only guy he hasn't beat, pretty much in that upper echelon of that division. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the only option at this point, aside from maybe possibly moving up. But I really don't think Pantoja is big enough for that. So
yeah,
yeah, I feel like that's the obvious one. And man,
yeah.
shout out to
I'll
Pantoja, man. He's really
dude,
absolute dog. I
beast.
know that it was a close fight, but man, I think
But
he's such a fun. I don't get the whole he's a boring fighter. I'm like, I feel like all of his fights
he's
are
not
pretty
boring.
entertaining. I mean, like he's just eating all these shots. I mean, how is that not entertaining?
I
Watching a
think
guy just
that's
able to
true.
run through fire.
I think the issue is with Pantoja is visibly. And what I mean by that is even if he's winning, he looks like he's getting beat.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
100%, man.
He's all sweaty. He's
Yeah.
like getting hit.
Like
He
charging
looks
in.
he looks tired as hell, but he
Yeah.
keeps up the same pace the whole time. It's very weird. He fights so weird, but he's winning. So it's like, as a viewer's mind, like if you're let's say you don't know nothing about scoring and you're watching the fight, you're like, damn, this dude's getting his ass beat just because he looks like he's getting his ass beat, even if he's not. It's very weird. I've never seen it before. Like
Yeah.
he gets so sweaty, like so sweaty to the point where his hair's soaked. He looks like a zombie. He's
Yeah.
rushing forward. It's so weird.
His
But
style is something else.
but he wins, so it's working. But I
100%.
did have a bonus match here just because when I was looking through these rankings, like you said, Pantoja has ran through everybody. And at this point, if he's not going to move up, which I don't think he will because he is a little small,
Yeah.
he's going to have to start fighting these guys over again. And Amir Albazi should be next, but I think another contender fight, or another good fight at least to make, would be Steve Erceg, who just lost, against Perez, who just won, but has lost to Pantoja.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
like
talked
that.
about it. We talked about, I mean, we both just absolutely ripped Perez off.
Yeah, man. I
Like,
feel like
I
most people
thought,
did.
excuse me, I thought he was going to get his ass beat, with just
Yeah.
being fully
Nicolau.
honest.
Yeah.
I thought Mateusz Nicolau was going to beat his ass, and he went out there and proved us all wrong and
He
finished
beat
him
his
in
ass.
nasty fashion.
Yeah.
Very
Slept.
quickly. Round 2 just knocked him straight out. Now, with that being said, Perez was on a 3-fight losing streak before that, but maybe we overlooked him because the caliber of his opponents were Figueiredo, Pantoja,
Yeah.
and Makayev. So it's
All
like
elite.
all beasts. Now, okay, Perez is going out there knocking people out. Let's see how he does against Erceg, because despite the loss, I thought Erceg's boxing looked very good in the
100%. I mean,
Pantoja fight.
I think we'll get more into this on the pod, but yeah, I think Erceg for sure could have won that fight if he didn't try to take Pantoja down. Like, I feel like he had a clear path to victory on the feet.
Yeah, and then the other guy that I wanted to give a little shout out to was Muhammad Makayev because I almost picked him. But the reason I didn't is because honestly, how poor he looked in the Alex Perez fight. It wasn't convincing at all.
Yep, I
And
agree.
like
I think he
this
needs one
guy is,
more.
yeah, this guy's undefeated. He's yet to
Yeah,
lose at all, 12-0, and he just looked bad.
next
So
for sure though.
had to give
He
it
is
to
so young.
Albazi. Yeah, had to give it to Albazi. I think Amir Albazi has to be next. If he's not, then I don't know what they're doing because he
Yeah,
100% deserves it.
I
So
agree, man.
Pantoja, Amir Albazi, I could definitely see that happening. I don't want to say soon because honestly, maybe end of the year or next year with how Pantoja fights.
Yeah, I think
But
that Pantoja said, yeah, end of the year.
yeah, he wanted to take some time off, I think. So I like it. I like all of our picks thus
Yeah,
far.
100%, man.
UFC, take notes because we want to see these
Exactly. I
fights.
mean, if any of these ones get made first, you guys heard it here first. You heard it here first.
And honestly, aside from Pantoja, I think we could see almost every winner soon.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. 100%,
Kyle made
man.
it look easy. Pereira made it look easy. Anthony Smith made it look easy. And Aldo went to decision, but also made it look easy and didn't take damage.
Yeah.
So
Quick turnaround.
it could be soon for all these guys. So I like that. That's always good.
Yeah, 100%. Keep them active. I like it.
But there is our UFC matchmaking for 301. If you agree or disagree, tell us in the comments. Let us know. Let us know who, if you disagree, who you would want to see these guys matched up against. Because, man, especially outside of the flyweight division, there's so many people that could be matched up.
Oh, yeah.
The flyweight division is just a little hard because Pantoja has beaten almost everyone in the division
Yeah,
in the
it's
top 10,
insane, honestly.
literally. Like, it's weird to say because was this his second fight as champion, right?
Yeah, I think
So
this is I think he defended against Royval, so this is his second defense.
second fight as champion, and he was beating these guys as a contender.
Yeah,
So it's so crazy to think how this guy's just becoming champion, but he's already beat almost everyone.
I know,
So
man. His resume is one of the best in the UFC if you really
it
look at
really
it.
is. I think yeah, it has to be Albazi, man. It has to because here's my question though before we leave. If he beats Albazi, what do you do? Do you go Makayev or does he move up? Like
I think
he's
Makaev
beaten
for
almost
sure.
everyone.
Yeah, I think Makaev is the next contender after Albazi for sure. As long as he's able to get another win. I mean, like you said, that Perez fight was a little bit not his best performance, but I mean, after how we saw Perez look in his most recent fight, it aged a lot better than we thought. Where in the moment, we really thought that was a really bad performance. So we already thought Perez was washed, and he didn't look amazing versus Perez. But now that I know the context of how Perez looked in his most recent fight, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe that win aged a lot better than I thought. So
it
yeah, I think
definitely
he's
aged really well.
yeah, I think he's the next contender for sure. I think Pantoja is a little bit too small for 135, but hey, man, we've
That,
seen crazier things happen.
and that's the issue then again though. If he beats Makayev, then what? Because I really do think he's too small to move up. So
Yeah.
he's going to keep on having these rematches because what else can he do?
Hey,
It's going
man,
to be strange.
Tatsura Taira, Japanese
Yeah.
fighter. He's
Yeah,
on the
get him
come
in
up,
there.
bro. Get him in there, man. That's
It's
another
gonna have
shout
to
out.
it's gonna have to start being like the heavyweights where they're just like throwing prospects in there just because they
For
need
real,
people.
man. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
man.
Flyweight division, honestly, for any flyweight that is not ranked yet or really high in the top 15, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Genuinely. You go out there and show one hell of a performance, there's a chance because Pantoja's beating everybody that they're just gonna be like, I mean, look what they did to Steve Ursig. So
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. I mean, they could
So
always get a Usyk rematch too. So I feel like there's some options.
yeah. But like I said, let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And if you disagree with our matchmaking, let us know who you would pick. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click the link in the bio for our gaming channel and subscribe over there. We hit over 100 subscribers, so thank you.
Let's go. Shout out to you guys.
And let's do that to here too. So make sure to subscribe,
Yes.
and we'll see you next time. Peace.